Yoski Woski. It's Pushman Chan here, and it feels good outside. Figured I'd go out for a walk. You know, I can't wait until it gets cold. I can't stand the heat. Before I go any further, yes, I drink gas station coffee. I got clowned for it. You know, somebody, they was like, "Ooh, gas station coffee?" Her and both her daughters, they was like, "Ooh." I'm like, "Man, what y'all bougie asses?" Yeah, I drink gas station coffee, but I already drank one, and I refilled it at the house. Yeah, I'm on my second one. I'm a caffeine addict. It is what it is. But if you're watching this, go watch the video prior to this. If you're on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, it's on there. But if you're not on YouTube or you're not, just to give some context of what I'm going to talk about, there's a clip that I posted where Steve-O's talking to this dude named Adam22 from No Jumper. And he's talking about his relationship with him and with one of his friends named Bam Margera. Everybody knows them. They're from Jackass. It's ironic I got an MTV shirt on right now. But if you're in my generation, you're a Jackass kid. What I mean by that is, whenever MTV was popping back in the 2000s, like early 2000s, and back in the late 1900s for my older folks, like Jackass was a big deal. And a lot of those dudes was really crazy. So much to the point to where like a kid like me and all my homies back in my small town, we were doing wild, crazy shit just like them. But one of the dudes I grew up with, his name was Justin Abel. His nickname was Hardcore Abel because he was trying his damnedest to be Johnny Knoxville because he did the wildest shit. But the beef on there is, as him and his friend are beefing because his friend, or both of them, were addicts. They both were alcoholics and shit. And Steve-O's, he's clean and sober right now. But Bam's not. Bam is out there bad. And actually his best friend died in a DUI. Like he was driving in a Porsche like 160 some miles an hour or some shit. Like don't quote me, like God rest his soul, but like he was driving stupid fast and he died and he was drunk. So it fucked Bam up pretty bad. But Steve-O basically was talking about how he's been wanting him to get sober and shit, but you can't force people to do something they don't want to do. And he's 100% correct. Like he has like an analogy on there talking about how if you was to put your foot or put your toe inside of a pool, that's technically not getting in the pool. If you want to get in the pool, you got to jump into the deep end of the pool. And that's basically like what being sober really is for real. He's talking about it, and he said like one of the things he said about it is it's easy to jump into the pool when your body's on fire, which he's 100% correct about that too. But the main thing he's talking about is you can't force people to do something that they don't want to do, and vice versa. People are going to do whatever they choose to do. It's regardless. For example, a lot of people have kids and their parents. It's very hard to tell a 2-3-year-old what to do. So if you can't tell a 2 or 3-year-old what to do, what makes you think you're going to tell an adult who's got their own money and their own responsibilities what to do? It's kind of set yourself up for failure on that, for real, in my opinion. And that's just not like with addiction. Like, you can't force people into sobriety because they had to choose that. But that's just across the board in everything in life. I'm a personal trainer. Even though I have paying clients, if my client says that they don't want to do a certain exercise, guess what? We're not doing that exercise because they're a paying client. So it's my job to switch the workout around to where it appeases them because they're a paying client. So, and there's certain workouts that just suck and they don't feel like doing certain things, and guess what? We're just not doing it. Same thing as being like a regular coach, being a team leader, a supervisor. And the biggest thing is relationships. A lot of people are trying to force people to do certain shit in relationships, or trying to force people to be a certain way or a certain person that they want them to be, and it's just not feasible. You got to meet people where they're at. That's what an OG once told me a long time ago. You got to meet people where they're at. Because I've been guilty of doing that. I've been guilty of trying to force people into a mode or a shape that I wanted them to be in, and instead ended up pushing us further away. That was on me. I had to accept that and embrace that. That was an L on my part. Now it's all about just getting better and shit, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of us just try to force certain things that shouldn't just be forced. You can't force a square peg into a round hole. When you try to force something to be something that it's not, that's a form of manipulation. And manipulation, I put that up there with consequences and guns. It's all about who it is and what they plan on doing with it. Because it's neither good or bad. It's all about who's doing it and what they plan on doing with it. So like, even though I'm a trainer, I have to technically manipulate clients' brains to get them to understand how the body works, and then that's how the body follows. If you're a parent, you got kids, you're technically manipulating your kids into the ways that you think is best to suit them to prepare them for this world. Manipulation is everywhere. It just depends on if it's good or bad or what you plan on doing with it. But trying to force something into what it's not, that's bad manipulation. And that's what a lot of us are doing right now. That's why a lot of us are miserable, because we're trying to force something that's not. And a lot of times, the reason why we bump heads with people is because we tend to hate the things that we become. A lot of us are bumping heads with a lot of people because we're the same person, because they're doing the same characteristics that we really hate, and that's the same shit that we do. Hate to say it, but it's the truth. Once everybody starts taking accountability and responsibility for their decisions, everything will get a whole lot easier. But once again, you can't force people to do that. Once I saw the light, I wanted everybody to see the light. But then I had to come to the realization that everybody has to choose to see the light, just like I chose to see the light. I can't force anybody else to see the light. Because when it's all said and done, everybody ain't gonna make it, B. But the ones who don't make it are the ones who never even try. That's the difference. The same wise man, actually a different wise man once told me, life's about two things: probability and karma. What are your odds in that situation, and what have you done prior to that situation? Because a lot of things that we signed up for, we put ourselves in that situation, and we just try to sweep things underneath the rug instead of just dealing with it. Instead of just cleaning up the mess, we tend to just sweep underneath the rug and walk over and shit like it don't exist. But forcing things, that's a no-no. That's a no. But nobody's perfect. Like I said, I've done it. Everybody's done it. The only thing we gotta do is just get better. Cheers.